Hello everyone and welcome to Irini's Crochet Corner. In today's video I'm gonna answer a common question that is being asked a lot, which is how to crochet a flat circle. This question is being repeated like in too many different ways. Like people would say my circle is curving up, my circle is wavy around the edges. And the answer to all of these questions, like how can I do a flat circle, why it's curving up, why it's getting wavy edges, is more or less the same. So let's answer these two questions first, and then we're gonna go into the details of how to crochet a flat circle. So to answer the first question, why my circle is curving up, that's because we're not putting enough stitches, enough increases along the rounds. So if there are no, if there isn't enough stitches there to lay it flat, the stitches will curve up closer to the center of your circle. And this is why you get kind of a cone shaped as you work your rounds. So for the second question, which is why we're getting wavy edges around our circle, the reason is we are putting too many increases or too many stitches into each round. So we're squishing the stitches to put extra in there, and because they are squished, they move up and down to find a place to fit in. That's why we get wavy edges. So based on these two questions, we reach a conclusion that we have to find the exact number of increases that we need to put into each round so that we get a flat circle. And to figure out that number, we are gonna be explaining a very simple equation. And yes, a little bit of math is involved into the crochet designing part of crochet. So, like I know not everyone needs or loves math, but hold on with me. Please stay to the end and let me know if you have any extra questions that I didn't answer. Write them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. So how to crochet a flat circle? The first thing that we need to pay close attention to is the number of stitches in round one. And I'm not talking about the chains that you start your circle with. Like some people use the magic circle, some others prefer chaining like 4 to 5 foundation chains and then join the last to the first stitch with a slip stitch. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the number of stitches that you put into that ring that you form. So this is basically round one. And I'm gonna be referring to this number of stitches as C. And I chose the letter C because this number for that specific project that you're working on is constant. Because once you decide, okay, I'm gonna be starting with 6 single crochet stitches or 12 double crochet stitches, this will not change throughout your project because it's round one, it's the base of your project. It's staying as a constant number throughout that project. Okay, here's the equation that I talked about. A equal B multiplied by C. And we agreed that C is the constant once you decide how many stitches you're going to put into round one. So this is the number of stitches in round one. B is the round number. So let's say I want to figure out how many stitches I should end up doing in the second round or the third round or the fourth round. So this is B. B is round number 2 or round number 3 or round number 4. So you can easily count it, or you can easily tell what B is based on which round you're about to start. And then A is the number of total, or it's the total number of stitches that you need to make in this specific round. So for example, I am gonna be working on my second round, and I will assume that I'm working with single crochet stitches, and I started my work with 6 single crochet stitches in the first round. So my C throughout this project is gonna be 6. So if I'm about to start round number 2, then my B is gonna be 2, and my C is 6, which is constant. So if I multiply them, I'll get 12. So I have to do 12 stitches around or across the second round to have a flat circle. Now moving to the third round, B is gonna change, but C is gonna stay constant. So B is 3 because I'm gonna be starting round number 3. So if I multiply 3 multiplied by 6, I'll get 18. And the same thing applies for round 4. Now the B is gonna be 4 and the C is constant, it's 6 in my case, and my total will be 24 stitches. So now I have the number of stitches for each round that I need to put into my round to get a flat circle at the end. And again, it applies to whatever number of rounds that you want to do. So let's say you want to do 10, 20, 40. Let's say you're about to start row number 40. So in that case, B is 40 multiplied by C, which is 6. 40 multiplied by 6 equals 240. So I have to do 240 stitches around the round number 40 to get a flat circle. Now let's say I'm working with double crochet stitches, not single crochet stitches, and I decided to put 12 double crochet stitches in round 1. So in that case, my constant across that specific project is gonna be 12. Now if I want to calculate the number of stitches I need to do for the second round, then my B is 2 right there multiplied by 12. That will give me a 24. If I'm about to start round number 3, then I multiply 3 by 12 and I get 36. Same thing with round 4. 4 by 12 equals 48. So I have to end up having 48 stitches in round number 4 to have a flat circle, and so on. If you go with that simple equation and substitute B and C correctly, then you're gonna get the number of stitches that you will end up doing in that specific round to get a flat circle. Now, is that all? Is it that simple? It's a yes and no. So the equation is correct. Like I can assure you, if you apply that equation to any circular project that you're working on, or even if you just go back to any pattern that you have and compare what I say to your pattern, even if there is a slight difference, like sometimes people would do like a double of increases around 2 rounds and then they stop doing an increase on a following round just to absorb that extra increase that happened in a previous round. But more or less, you're gonna see that the numbers are almost the same. We are like working around the same figures when we are starting with a specific number of stitches in round 1. So what is the one more tip that will help you get rounded edges? So again, we learned how to do a flat circle, but how do we get a round edge? And why I am asking this specific question, it's because if you look into the increases, which we're gonna look at it in like a minute here, we will see that if we don't rotate the location of our increase in each round, and if we get to have the increase at the last or at a specific spot in each round, so the increases will be sitting above each other, then we're going to end up with pointy edges. And let's give an example so it gets clearer to us what we're talking about. So let's say, again, back to the first example where I'm gonna be working with single crochet stitches. So more or less the pattern for the fourth round working with single crochet stitches will be something like that. So one single crochet into the next 2 stitches, then 2 single crochet into the 3rd stitch. That's my increase. So my increase came at the end of my repeat, and we're going to be talking about repeats shortly and like how to figure the number of repeats in each round. So here my increase is at the end of the repeat. Now to get a round edge in the 5th round, you should have the pattern looking somehow like something like this: 2 single crochet into the next stitch, then 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So you see here that we get to do the increase at the beginning of the repeat and not at the end, because if I end up doing the repeat at the increase at the end of my repeat, these 2 single crochet stitches are gonna be sitting above one of these increases, the last one of these increases. So if I keep doing my increases at the end of my repeat, I'm gonna be doing pointy edges. So the main thing or the main tip here is do not let your increases sit above each other, or else you'll get pointy edges at these locations. Now, how many repeats should I be getting in my circle? Do you remember the letter C and what it refers to? Yes, it's the number of stitches that I put into my round 1 of my pattern. So if I have put 6 single crochet stitches, then I have 6 repeats around my circle. If I have put 10 half double crochet stitches, then I have 10 repeats around my circle. If I have put 12 double crochet stitches, then I'll have 12 repeats around my circle. So the repeats per round is equal to the number of stitches that I put into the first round of my circle. So again, back to the example that I have given. The 4th round was 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, then 2 single crochet into the 3rd stitch. So that's my increase right there. So then I will repeat this for 6 repeats in total. So that means I have done 1 and I'll do 5 more. So I'll get 6 repeats of that same sequence of 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet for 6 times around the circle. Now the 5th round will be 2 single crochet into the next stitch, so that's an increase at the beginning, and then I'll get 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then I'll repeat again, starting the increase 5 more times for a total of 6 repeats across the circle. Now if I'm working with 12 double crochet stitches, the repeats are gonna be 12 in total. So if the increase is 1 single, or in that case 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, then 2 double crochet into the 3rd stitch, then I'm going to repeat this for 12 times in total. For the 5th round, it will be 2 double crochet into the next stitch, then 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and I'm going to repeat this for 12 times in total. The number of stitches that you put into round 1 has a big impact on how your work is gonna grow, and like it will answer your question of how many increases should I do and how many repeats should I be doing of that increase. Notice that when we are doing a repeat within a certain round, so if we're gonna be talking about the 4th round, for example, the location of the increase right there doesn't change. It is always at the end of my repeat, while on the 5th round my increase is at the beginning, and it will stay at the beginning of each repeat across that specific round. You can definitely move your increase within a round. Once you decide, okay, I'm gonna have my increase in the middle of my repeat, then throughout this round, keep your increase in the same spot. Do not change it. We only change them when we are moving from one round to the other. Like when we are starting a new round, that's when you need to change that spot where you do the increases so that you don't get that pointy edges at the end. And that's it for today's tutorial. I hope it has answered some of your questions. I know math is not fun for most of us, but I hope that my explanation made it easier for you to figure out how to get a flat circle. If you have any other questions, feel free to write down your question in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. This is how you show support to what I'm doing right here, and you give me some encouragement to continue doing it. And please give it a thumbs up if you like the content of this video. And until next time, take care.